My name is Brenda Denny, Consumables Product Manager at United Silicone. So nice to meet you. Today I'm going to share information specific to the creation of hot stampable artwork, as well as selection of die specifications most suitable to a variety of artwork designs. Each hot stamp project is unique due to variations in a number of factors, including artwork composition, finished part geometry, substrate characteristics, and required production speeds or throughput. Nonetheless, each hot stamp project shares a common goal: to have repeatable, crisp, legible graphic images. Ensuring high-quality hot stamp decoration depends upon both having artwork carefully designed for the application, as well as dies manufactured utilizing specifications tailored to the graphics requirements. One size or spec does not fit all. United Silicone and CER have been the leading global manufacturers of hot stamp and heat transfer equipment, tooling, and dies for more than 40 years. Our well-respected, experienced graphic artists are often asked questions such as, what is hot stampable artwork? And what does it look like? What is the minimum and maximum font size I can hot stamp? How big or small can we go? What durometer is recommended for this artwork or that artwork? And what relief? Should a metal die or a silicone die be used for this part? A good place to start in answering these common questions is with the definition of hot stamping. In its most simplest form, hot stamping is the combination of time, temperature, and pressure to transfer an image or foil from a film to a part. Taking this definition a bit further, it is the die itself that transfers the artwork or graphic image onto the part. It's these dies, available in both silicone and metal formats, that must be able to withstand the heat, pressure, and time of the hot stamp process. The contact area, also known as relief, is the raised area of the die where artwork meets the part to create the hot stamped image. The artwork on the relief must be able to withstand the pressure or force of the hot stamp process. Understanding the amount of machine pressure or force required to hot stamp helps explain why artwork and graphic design is so critical. Pressure requirements differ between silicone and metal dies. If using a silicone die to stamp a 2x4-inch artwork, you'll require approximately 350 pounds per square inch of contact area, or 1.4 tons of machine force. On the other hand, if using a metal die for the same 2x4 artwork, you'll need 1,000 pounds per square inch of contact area, or 4 tons of force. When creating your artwork, consider these formulas from the perspective of the amount of force each individual character will face and what happens to each during the hot stamp process. Small punctuation marks become fat. Insides of letters fill in. A's, E's, capital letters R's, B's, D's. These can all be a challenge. As you can imagine, withstanding such high amounts of pressure presents its challenges. We'll look at 3 common outcomes found in hot stamp decoration, and then discuss how strategically designed artwork and selection of die specifications can overcome these challenges. What is air entrapment? Essentially, in images that contain large solid or bold areas, air can become trapped between the die and part. This condition prevents the foil or heat transfer label from making a complete transition or release from the film carrier to the part, with the end result being a hot stamp image filled with holes or voids. One way to address air entrapment is on the graphic design side. Consider artwork created with an outline versus a solid image, or at minimum, a balance between solid and outlined elements to assist with air entrapment issues. Another method to address air entrapment is with a die specification technique referred to as screening, to be shared later in this presentation. Overstamping of graphics is a common cause of quality rejections and scrap parts. Unlike air entrapment, which is often caused by the use of large solid graphics, overstamping is often a result of tightly positioned characters and lines. Minimum spacing between characters or design features that touch each other are likely to squish together or overstamp under the pressure and temperature of hot stamping, resulting in unreadable graphics. Overstamping exploits these features. To address this condition from a graphic design perspective, create a graphic with sufficient spacing between each characters. Lines and letters should not touch each other. And consider exaggerating spacing between strokes, understanding that vertical pressure and silicone expansion with heat will further reduce these gaps during the hot stamp process. Finally, it is essential that artwork is created and the die itself is designed to withstand both the pressure and temperature of the hot stamp process over time. When this is not the case, premature silicone or metal breakage may occur, resulting in hot stamp voids and shortened die life. For visual purposes, it's helpful to consider the stance of a person about to be pushed or shoved. Who has a better chance of remaining upright or intact? A 6-foot person standing straight and tall with legs close together, or a 4-foot person standing poised with legs slightly separated and braced for impact? Just as an at-ease position enables a person to remain upright when forced, designing stamping dies to withstand pressure with specifications such as relief and durometer will help to maximize die life and overall stamp quality. Effectively addressing hot stamp challenges most often requires both graphic design and die specification solutions. Next, we will take a look at both. Quality graphic design is the first and most important step in successful quality hot stamp decoration. No amount of sophistication in die manufacturing can overcome bad artwork. Best practices in graphic design include the use of original vector artwork with resolution of at least 600 dpi with crisp lines and characters. That is to say, graphics must be clearly defined and sufficiently spaced, and the entire image should meet minimum line weight requirements. The saying, garbage in, garbage out, applies to hot stampable artwork. Getting the graphic design right is crucial. United Silicone's graphic artists are available and ready to work together with you to turn your vision into reality. In addition to careful graphic artwork design, successful hot stamp decoration depends upon the correct die format and specifications for the job. Correct selection of screens, relief, aka character height, durometer, and mold style will ensure a highly successful and repeatable decoration. A technique utilized by United Silicone is the use of screens incorporated into the surface of a die's artwork or contact area. The screen pattern is actually a series of dots that facilitates airflow, ensuring air doesn't become trapped between the die and part, thereby enabling complete contact and foil transfer. No more random voids. A variety of screen weights and textures are available. The more dots per inch, the finer the resulting pattern. The fewer dots per inch, the more coarse the screen pattern. As an example, the screens used to stamp this 18-wheeler mud flap ensured the large area of decoration with no entrapped air. Pay special attention to the R registration mark in this photo, a small graphic in comparison to the whole, and it's reversed out of a large solid area. The pressure or force required to stamp the solid red area did not result in overstamping the registration mark. Pretty impressive. Another die specification that can serve as a solution to ensure quality decoration is relief. Relief is the height the graphics are elevated from the background of the die itself. The most vulnerable graphic elements, finer details, can be placed at a lower relief for an enhanced support and protection. Remember the analogy of the 6-foot person preparing to be pushed? A lower position of vulnerable characters provide better overall protection. Fine or small characters are typically well served at a 35 thou relief, while 65 thou reliefs are recommended for those larger graphic elements. A deeper 120 thou relief is available for those artworks that are consistently large or bold, with the higher relief facilitating the pressure or force required to transfer the full graphic without overstamping to the background of the die. One challenge that can be addressed by both artwork design and the selection of silicone hardness or durometer is combination graphics, large elements interspersed around small, fine detail artwork. Special care needs to be taken from both a graphic design perspective as well as from a die specification point of view to address combination graphics. From a graphic arts perspective, care should be taken to minimize the use of both heavy and bold elements in conjunction with fine or small details. Consider the formulas for pressure or force. Fine graphics will fully transfer to the part with less pressure or force than the bolder, solid elements, making overstamping a concern. From a die manufacturing perspective, proper durometer selection can help ensure superior performance. Durometer is the measurement of a silicone's hardness or softness. This die component should be selected with consideration for the specific artwork design. Small, fine detail graphics may require a hard 90 durometer to hold the integrity of each character during the pressure of the hot stamp process. 80 durometer is often recommended for large, bold graphics, facilitating more compression to make full contact and to get the air out. Combination graphics, a mixture of fine detail and bold images, respond well to a dual durometer specification, utilizing a hard 90 durometer on the surface of the artwork and a softer 60 or 70 durometer in the background of the die. Molds are another die manufacturing tool used to ensure superior stamp quality. Molds are literally the box that holds and forms the silicone into the graphic design, resulting in a finished die. Molds, also known as make-readies, are part of United Silicone's production process, not seen by you as the end user. Molds are made using either a photo-etched chemical process or CNC engraving. While photo-etched make-readies are more cost-effective, there are 3 instances where machine-engraved molds should be considered to deliver superior quality decoration. The first instance is when multiple reliefs are required for full part contact and or support for character integrity. Photo etching achieves a single relief. CNC engraving facilitates multiple reliefs in shapes such as crowns and full contours to match the shape part. A second instance where machine-engraved molds may provide superior results is when vertical sidewalls are required for part clearance and or precision foil transfer of lines or characters. CNC engraving, machine-engraved molds, provide this control and repeatability from die to die. Finally, silicone dies from machine-engraved molds are highly accurate and repeatable from die to die. For example, a die used to stamp the lines of a ruler or another measuring device, like the cup shown here, must create a finished part accurate to that scale of measurement. In other words, a hot stamped ruler must actually measure to 12 inches, not 11 7/8. When designing hot stamp dies for optimal decoration quality, an additional factor to consider is that of generations. Hot stamp artwork is generational. Each artwork generation or step in the die manufacturing process diminishes in clarity, leading to its final form as a hot stamp part. The process of hot stamping will not make an art image better. In this context, hot stamping does not perform magic. To the contrary, bad artwork will become worse or amplified when hot stamped. For visual understanding, Think of this as a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Each copy or generation loses a small amount of image integrity. As the table shows, photo-etched silicone dies require 6 generations of artwork reproduction, while machine-engraved silicone and photo-etched metal dies require 4. To summarize, the challenges to achieve quality, repeatable hot stamp products can be addressed with a combination of strategic graphic design and the use of appropriate die specifications, thus ensuring highly repeatable, quality decoration that accurately reflects the intention of the original artwork concept. To learn more about United Silicone's dies and die development, please see our separate videos on these topics. Would you like to learn more about our art development and die manufacturing services for hot stamp decoration? Please get in touch.